People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. As you know, Fridays, Q&A days. So, yeah, let's crack on, man. I wish I could show you. I've got the laptop in front of me. Bare questions, man. Bare is actually an understatement. Apologies if you can hear the wind. It's a windy day. I've actually moved the mic to try and decrease the likeliness of you hearing it, but that was a mad one. But, yeah, man, let's crack on. Saying you lot came heavy, like I just said, is an understatement. There's a lot of questions here, and yeah, man, I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, and because of this wind, because I can't lie, people, it annoys me, but one day I'll have a studio. But let's crack on. Papaya, forgive me if I've mispronounced your name. Big up yourself. You're always at me on Twitter, asking me stuff, retweeting stuff, and asking questions, and all of them things there. Your support doesn't go unnoticed, my guy, but you've got 3 questions, so I'll start with the Rabiot one, because that was the one that got me. You've asked me, if we get Rabiot, how similar will his role be to Aaron Ramsey's? Now, that's a good question, because this is what I tell you a lot about biases. When you say Rabiot, to me, I know he can do the box-to-box thing, and he excels in that, to which you can see similarities with Ramsey. But my actual bias is deep-lying playmaker. I don't know if I heard rumours he doesn't necessarily like playing there, but I see him as someone that can drive from deep, connect the play from defenders to attackers, and I think he can do more in that regards. But he is box to box. He can do the box to box thing. So I think he's a completely different player from Ramsey, but there are similarities. Again, I don't have his goal scoring stats to hand, but I'm pretty sure Ramsey must trump him on that. I think he's dynamic, but I don't think he's as dynamic as Aaron Ramsey. So it would be someone that could fill the role and someone I would want. I mean, Rabiot's a top player, but in terms of probably goals, in terms of away from goals, how Ramsey's been used in big games, specifically against, you know, how he played against United, against Spurs, and many other examples. If you go and look, Ramsey's had a bit part role to this season, and I think he's been quite good this season, but he's been a bit part role. But you go and look at the games he's actually started or played, and you just look at the top 6, and he's the man for the occasions, or Unai judges him as the man for them occasions in terms of pressing and helping Aubameyang and Lacazette when they split pressing. I think Rabiot can do that, but I don't think he's as dynamic. So that's an interesting question, man. So I think it's completely different, but there are similarities. But I like that question. It went against my own bias. Another good question, my guy, and coincidentally, I've got the tactics board here. I think I could manipulate it for you, but you've asked me. I think I deleted it. It seems like Unai likes the width that Kolasinac provides. Are his flaws coachable? If not, how do we cope with such? Good question. First and foremost, every player has shortcomings, in my opinion. We could even the best players in the world. I mean, you look at Cesc Fabregas. You look at him at Chelsea. Jose Mourinho knew that while he had to improve defensively, he's not on defending. His strengths are not there. So he built a system in that which Cesc Fabregas was his job was literally just to assist Diego Costa, and literally not to discredit the other players. Chelsea fans, you know, I'm not doing that, but Costa with the goals and Cesc with the assists literally made the difference. Whatever year that was that they won the first league title when he went back. So stuff like that. It's about recognising shortcomings that a player might give you in terms of what he can excel at. I think apart from Mustafi, I think players can be coached. I think Kohler's improved slightly defensively, but he's still not all the way there. So his flaws are coachable. I'm more inclined to go with what you've actually said in how do we cope, in which I was actually going to do the tactical vid after this, but give me a sec, people. If I manipulate this and remove people, let me make the example. So if these are a lot of midfielders, my man's here. Let's put some defenders in here for decoration. In fact, that's going to complicate things. Let's just say that's Kohler. 2 defenders. And for decoration, let's add a couple more men. Alright, cool, people. Yeah, listen. Ignore these. Do you know what? Let me take them off. Why ain't it coming off? Alright, cool. To answer your question, yeah, ignore the scribbles, people, but ignore everything until I tell you to. This is Kohler, right? You know Kohler. His strengths are left wing back, bomb forward, get up there, innit? Get up there, do your thing, assist for Aubameyang and Lacazette, etc. That's good. Kohler's strengths from what we've seen are offensively. I think he's one of the best offensive fullbacks in the league, and he's probably one of the worst defensively. We knew what we was, well, we didn't know what he's getting, but we know where we're at with Kohler, so it's a bit of pull and pull. We know within the system, he is our width, whether we're playing three at the back or our teams in general. He has been a creative outlet, someone that we look to provide. If you watch Arsenal, you will know the ball into Kohler, whipped behind, or whipped first time, find Aubameyang sort of thing. So he's being told to do that, similar to Maitland-Niles as well when he plays at fullback. He's being told to do that. But for me, if Kohler's going to go up here, then, for instance, your midfielders have to work 10 times harder, because what do you typically see like against Brighton? Our midfielders are here. There's a gap left, people, right? So that means Xhaka and Ramsey, or Xhaka and Torreira, whoever, they've got to work 10 times harder. They've got to mark this space, people, because you imagine if they don't close that space down, who do you see here? A midfield runner. And these are examples that have happened this season. Midfield runner. What do you see here? A striker. What do you see here? An attacker. What do you see here? So immediately, people, it's 3v3, or in fact 4v3, for example, and then we're tracking back, which you have seen on numerous occasions. Do you see what I'm saying? So, to answer you, it's a bit of 50-50. Kohler has to improve defensively, but we've got to work as a team. We have to work 10 times harder, people. Because if we know that Kohler, he's a wing back, he's told to get forward, he's going to leave gaps naturally because that's what's being demanded of him, then we've got to shuffle across quicker. We've got to shuffle across. I know I took the strikers out of the game, but just to make the example, if Kohler's caught up there, then our strikers have to help press. Do you see what I'm saying? Possibly our winger on the other side has to drop back. Why? Because if my man goes here, we can shuffle across. And that's all football is, people, just shuffling across. And now, look, you've got a free man. Then it's down to our midfield, like you can see here, to watch the runners. But that's for another story, people. But that's a great question, man. And I'm going to be here too long, but hopefully I've answered your question. You've also asked me, could Mkhitaryan possibly be developed in the deep-lying playmaker role similar to Santi Cazorla? I'd be inclined to think so. It's possibly something he's got to consider as he gets on. I mean, he's 31 years of age. He probably will have to change his game to a degree. So hopefully that answers your questions, my guy. Marble Halls asks is, if Liverpool don't win the league, does this make Klopp's position untenable? I don't think so. I mean, he's been doing well. I mean, it would be silly for Liverpool to sack him if he doesn't win the league, in my opinion, because I won't say he's giving them good times, but together with Klopp and the men upstairs, they're building something good. They went out and got Van Dijk. Away from spending that money, it's a sign of intent. It's a signal of intent what they're trying to do, and I think Klopp's the man for them, at least I believe that in March 2019. So I would think it would be silly to sack him whether he does or doesn't end up with silverware. Of course, I'll be there to banter Liverpool fans, as football fans always do, but I'd think it'd be quite idiotic in my opinion. But if Liverpool fans or people connected with the club deem it more of a sensible decision than me, then who am I to tell them any different, Marble? So moving on, Michael Smith asks, how would you feel in the next transfer window? How would you feel in the next transfer window if in the next window Unai Emery focuses on defence and uses our youth players? I mean, we need to fix our defence, so I'd be cool for that. If he wants to fix up our defence, do your thing. Truth Warrior asks is, really intelligent input, Deluded, as always. You the man. Who would you buy for us this summer if you was in charge? I'd say, I can't even say his name, man. Let me bring up I've got a question about this, but let me bring it up. Where is it gone? Where is, oh, this is a shag. Got told, I can't even say his name, man, but let me find it. Leipzig, Dominick, yeah, here we go. Give me the pronunciation, please. Sorry for this, my people. And yeah, well, I cannot say this guy's name, but I know he's a good footballer. Can you hear that, people? We do that again. Technology.
Shabazz.
Yeah.
Shabazz.
So you heard it myself, my guy. That would be someone I'll go for. He'd be one. Julian Brandt would be the other. And if there's money permits, I would love to go after Canute. But you heard it yourself, man. Shabazz. I cannot say his name. He plays for Leipzig. He played quite well against Napoli, in my opinion. And that's the one that really tipped the balance for me and made me think, yeah, this is the guy for us. So it'd probably be him. I'm starting to sweat. But yeah, that'd be it. It's truth. Stevens asked, what about Bruno Fernandes, the guy that plays for Sporting Lisbon? How well do you rate him? If you remember me last couple videos, like last year, I said that a Portuguese friend put me onto him, and I like what he sees. He's got the box-to-box aspect in him, and he's probably in terms of player style, quite similar to Aaron Ramsey. Quite different, but quite similar. So I'd be all up for that. Jay asks, you said I butchered your name in the comments, so I'm just gonna call you Jay. But you've asked me, what's your thoughts on Sergi Samper going to Japan? Not the sort of thing I would have thought would happen if at 17 years of age, where he looked like at 17. But this shows you that potential is just potential, and there's a number of other factors. He's had injuries, he's been loyal to the wrong causes, but it is what it is, man. Aaron's asked me, considering we have a World Cup winner, experienced defenders, and in total that are worth over 100 million, or were at a time, they used to be. Why is our defense so bad? Well, it's several things, people. My guy, personnel, defensive structure, or lack of defensive structure that Unai Emery is trying to rectify. That's not going to change. They're mainly the two things for me, to be honest with you, my guy, and just deteriorating players and just a lack of respect for defending that's been escaping this club for a while, and it's coming back slowly. But that would be it for me, anyways, Aaron. Michael again asked, imagine a team made up of youth players that have been dropped by their clubs. Who do you think would make the team, and how do you think they would do in the Championship or Premier League? Not too sure how to answer your question about youth players. That's quite an ambiguous question. I don't know where to start, so I don't think I can answer that. But if it was a team made up of youth players in the Championship, I'd love for it to happen, but they'd probably get eaten alive purely because of the nature of the league. Premier League the same. Hopefully that answers your question. Sorry, I can't expand, but imagine a team made up of youth players. There's not really much I can do with that, my guy. Antonio's asked, what's your thoughts on Gilles Glimande's decision to leave Arsenal for Nice? I mean, if he sees a better opportunity for himself, then I'm all for human development. He's been at Arsenal for a while. If he's deemed that he has more of a chance of elevating himself there and returning to his homeland and the project there, what can we tell him? Goodbye and good luck, my G. But Greg's asked, what's your opinion on an Arsenal B, kind of like Barca B, that plays in the Spanish second division leagues? Arsenal could field a lower team in the English league, and they could get experience. I'd be all up for that, my guy. I do think, as much as I like the Barca B structure and things like that, it's actually not perfect. If you go and speak to regular viewers, they have their own questions about it. But it would definitely be better than under-23 football. Definitely provide our players with playing men's football, playing against physical people, playing where the game actually matters. I'd be all up for it. Wait, why is word acting? I think it says OJ. I need to, one sec, people, the font is acting. But OJ, Dr. OJ has asked me, what happened to Dan Crowley? He's still in Holland doing his thing, and I'm actually liking what I'm seeing from him, my guy. Lake asks, what's your opinion on Maitland-Niles this season? Do you think he'll get the chance he deserves in midfield? I think obviously his season was disrupted by injury, but I think Maitland-Niles went about has been good, like against Liverpool, like last night, obviously against I forgot the team now, Rennes. He's been well. I think he's in a difficult decision because as a young player, 21 years of age, you just want to play. So he's going to take the fullback thing, and he's done quite well. I still think he shows naivety because it's not his position, but I think he's done quite well. So you're just going to take wherever you can play. Just the fact that you're getting minutes is a blessing in disguise. And I'm with you, would have liked to see him get a chance in midfield, but he's playing at the end of the day, and it'll be an interesting one for him because I know this is a man who said he wants to be a winger. He said he's a midfielder, a central mid. He wants to be a winger that scores week in, week out. He's been played at fullback, so it'll be interesting to see how he develops because he runs the risk of becoming a master of all trades, a jack of all trades, master of none is what they call it, in the sense that if he... Obviously, now it's good he's playing games, but you don't want to be 25 and you're playing about everywhere. It's good to have someone like that in your squad, but for Maitland-Niles as a professional athlete, defining yourself, you want to be known for certain things. So that's a good question. Andreas asked, what about Maitland-Niles as a replacement for El Nene? I'd be all up for that, but El Nene's not really playing in himself, so is it really a replacement, or is it just we're going to utilise him in a different role? Alvin's asked me, how long have you been an Arsenal fan, and what made you support? A number of things. Obviously, I'm a North London lad, friends and family, Thierry Henry, the big one, Ashley Cole, Vieira, Lundberg, really and truly tipped the balance, really. Like, it's an Arsenal thing. I'm a North London lad. It was always going to be that, in my opinion. So I don't know any other way to tell you that. And I've been since, well, I'm going to say since birth, but since I could comprehend football. So since I've been knee high or whatever, really and truly, like, I've always, it's been my team, innit? Richie's asked, what do you think of the United players, Garner, Levitt, Greenwood and Lard? I think they're all bad boy footballers, and I think I've spoken about all of them apart from Levitt in particular in depth by himself. Greenwood's a bad boy footballer. He's got the world at his feet, and I think it's a matter of time before he gets his chance. Just got to be patient with him. Levitt, got time for him. Garner, I like how he's developed physically in the last 18 months. Think he's a baller. Lard, very good fullback. Possibly has a good chance of breaking through at United, but potential is just potential. And yeah, I've got time for them. Darker Than Blues asked, considering our problems at the back, I think we should try and keep good young defenders. 2 or 3 seasons from now, we could lose Mustafi, Chambers, Koscielny, and even Socrates. Then what would we do? Then what? Do we have to spend 150 million on defenders? Okay. Don't really know how to answer that question, or actually specifically what you're asking me, but alright, my guy. Alright, cool, man. Cool. Keep them. Anyways, moving on. Mo Bias, hopefully I've said your name right, which has probably been wrong, but you've asked, in your Q&A tomorrow, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Rashford and whether there will be a case of burnout because he's played so much football over the last few seasons for United. To be honest, I don't know. I'm not a physio. I do think that footballers... I'm on the side of the fence because I do think footballers nowadays, because of the advancements in technology and the way they're racing back to fitness, and they've got all sorts of highly skilled scientific individuals that can tell them their fat, how much water's been consumed and all of these things, and the margins are tighter. I do think burnout is overstated to a degree if they're constantly being audited as professional athletes, more so than ever. But on the other hand, yeah, he could be burnt out. Not just him, several players. And to be honest, more than physical burnout, Rashford might even at some point have had mental burnout because he's still a young man, he's a human. Obviously, the scrutiny that you always get in being Marcus Rashford playing for England and United, he knows himself whether he's played good or bad. You've got all these sort of pressures, and United are not where they want to be in terms of a football club. And Rashford is, that's why I like Rashford being informed people off his back. I think people flip-flop with Rashford a lot, but maybe there's a case for it, man. Maybe. I personally can't see it right now, but there's probably been cases, not just him, of everybody. Look at Alexis Sanchez to a degree of physical burnout. Maybe even Kevin De Bruyne. You look at Kevin De Bruyne, he's obviously played all last season, played at the World Cups, been rushing himself back from fitness and hasn't had the best of seasons from a personal standpoint. So there's some truth in that. Tamid asks, should we keep an eye on Dominick Shabazz? Man, let me get the thing out again, man. I can't say that. Where does it keep going? Yeah, I can't bother to find it, people. But you lot know who I'm talking. You lot know exactly who I'm talking about. Dominic of Salzburg. I think he's a good player, my guy. I think he's got good physical potential. He stands at 6 foot something. Very good ball player. Very good ball carrier. Only 18 years of age. So when you consider Torreira is 22, Guendouzi's 19, 20. Iwobi's 22, Maitland-Niles is 21. There's some youth in and around the squad, so there's a lot of players with resale value. There's players that can be moulded and developed, and more importantly, as great as he is, he's not quite the player that everyone expects him to eventually be one day. So these are the sort of guys we need to go for now before they become that player. So I'm fully with you. Swervo's asked, is Unai Emery a top 7 manager? In my opinion, yes. Rafius has asked, which centre-half and centre-back would you want in the summer? Canute and Brandt, on the basis of Brandt being 24 million, but I'd love Upamecano, I'd love Diallo. There's a couple of Liga centre-halves. Wouldn't mind Mancini of Atlanta. So yeah, there's a couple, man. Hopefully that answers your question. Mr. BHAFC's asks, what's your favourite player from Arsenal of all time? Thierry Henry. It's a close one because, I mean, how can it not be Thierry Henry for me? I just missed the boat on Ian Wright. I mean, Ian Wright was playing when I was a kid, but, I mean, he was past it. And he weren't at Arsenal. But at least when I comprehend football. But it'd be Thierry Henry for me. Toss up after that between Ashley Cole and Patrick Vieira. In fact, Patrick Vieira and Ashley Cole, they're all in the... Not like Thierry Henry's here, they're there. In fact, Vieira's probably here. Obviously, you got to love Bergkamp. But for me, Thierry Henry, man, it can't be anything less than Thierry Henry, my guy. My Bowls asked, what's your thoughts on Lacazette not playing for France? To be honest with you, I don't really care, my guy, man. Obviously, I know he's got ambitions for his country, and after missing out the World Cup that they won, they've got Euro 2020 next year or whenever it is. He wants to be a part of it. Deschamps has got his favourites like Giroud, so there's not much he can do, to be fair with you. He's playing good, and to be fair, like, him not playing runs less risk of one less player returning fatigue or injured. And as much as I want these players to go and achieve their ambitions, I support Arsenal. I couldn't frankly care for France, so it is what it is, man. But not just him, a couple of players I would have thought would have been in the France squad, but it is what it is. Man Daisy's asked, what's the gallum saying? Well, I'm trying to be like you, man. I'm trying to be like you, trying to get me in trouble. I'm trying to be like you, bro. I don't get no girls. But yeah, Aaron's asked, why does it seem like we are less and less interested in developing players from the academy? I don't think that's necessarily true, my guy. If you just go and look at the academy and look at players being given chances, yes, as an Arsenal fan, we're used to more players getting chances, but you have to consider we're trying to get back on track as a club, and I just don't agree with that. I don't think we're less and less interested. I can see where the frustration comes from, but it's a difficult job. If we were to put more of an added importance on developing these youth players and giving them chances, considering where we are, would many fans be able to accept that when they're seeing Liverpool spending money, City getting stronger and stronger, Spurs obviously they're having a wobble but they're up there, United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I don't think many fans would, so it's not always easy, man, and sometimes players just aren't ready, in my opinion, especially me myself as well. When I watch players under the scrutiny a bit more, I'm like, alright, cool, maybe I shouldn't call for certain things. But yeah, Nick's asked, what do we need to do to challenge for a Premier League title? Simply put, learn how to defend widespread, learn how to win more games away from home, ultimately listen to Emery and let him do his thing. But yeah, mainly for me, defensively, it's the main thing's defensively. If you have a good back four or a back four that can keep clean sheets and defend properly, then you can move from there. But until that, we're a long way away. Possibly need a winger as well. But yeah. Jimmy's asked, what's your thoughts on Dominic Thompson playing in the 10 role? It's a bit weird, but I mean, it's a good experience for him, to be fair with you. Personally, I think he's going to get released from Arsenal. So it is quite telling that some people that are not left-backs have been put there ahead of him. I think him, Bramwell are gone, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a learning curve, and it's a bit of a random one, really. But it's what football's about, and there's not much I can add on that, my guy. Devon's asked, Onda or Pepe, Nicolas Pepe, if we can only get one. I've got a lot of time for Pepe and obviously the form, so I'm going to go with Pepe, but I like Onda a lot, man. It's a tough one for me, but I'm going to go with Pepe just. Techie Terrera's asked, what's your first footballing memory? First footballing memory is actually playing football in primary school with my friends, to be fair with you. I can remember them vividly. I can remember the first football match I was wearing. If you lot can remember the old Total 90s, the white and black ones, I had them. So, yeah, man. That's my first memory, my guy. And you said, who's the most underrated players in the Premier League? That's a tough one. You've put me on the spot. I'd have to think. But I'd say Arsenal's very own Socrates for one. I'd say Socrates. Maybe Ward-Prowse slightly to a degree. Maybe Felipe Anderson on the basis of that. If he was a flop, many people would have said it. But him. A couple at Watford, to be fair. I think Fraser's slept on. I wouldn't say the most underrated, but I think Fraser of Bournemouth is underrated. Maybe. It's a good question, man. Good question. I'd have to think about that, my guy, man. You put me on the spot there. But M1's asked, if you didn't support Arsenal, what club would you support in London? None. None. Straight up none. I'd probably be a United fan, probably on the basis of family members. Of the basis of I used to, on a regular basis, my older cousins that I used to watch football, and it's a big reason as to what shaped my views as a football man. He was a United fan, so I remember I was sat there. Obviously, younger cousin, you got no choice but to watch what's on in his TV. Just a United thing. If it had to be out of all the London clubs, sad to say, but it'd probably be Spurs again, from family ties again, because the Spurs ground is literally 5 minutes away from me. Wouldn't be a Chelsea fan, to be fair with you. I'd actually think I'd be a neutral, to be fair, but probably United, if anything, if I didn't support Arsenal. I'm not going to say Spurs again, but probably I'm 60% sure I'd be a United fan if Arsenal didn't exist as a football club, but thankfully it does. So yeah, man, it definitely wouldn't be Chelsea. I've never been drawn to Chelsea, to be fair. You never liked them, but I know you're a Chelsea fan, so big up yourself. Issa's asked, what's your opinion on Cristiano Ronaldo versus Atletico Madrid's performance? in regards to his performance. My reading's poor today, but it's like watching Messi boss it. It's like watching Messi against Lyon. Like I can sit here and tell you I'm amazed in things, and I am, but at the same time I'm not, because it's normal. You just knew Ronaldo was going to stand up to be counted, to be fair with you, and the man's a great footballer. Like, we're really lucky. Everyone says it, but we're really lucky to have Messi and Ronaldo in the same era, and we're really going to miss them. I mean, Ronaldo's been this elite winger who can dribble past players and score mad goals, and he still is that to a degree, but now it's just this ultra goal scorer. He's been two different players. The man's amazing, man. The man's amazing, and he showed it against Atletico. But I do think Atletico bottled as well severely. But yeah. Connor's asked, top 3 players if you were head of recruitment. First and foremost, Dominick Shabazz. I cannot say his name. Dominic, Brandt, Canute / Diallo / Upamecano. In regards to the youth ranks, I would go for Jude Bellingham of Birmingham. Probably go for Diallo of West Ham. And for me, Morgan Rogers of West Bromwich Albion. So there will be the names I'll go for. I think we need a couple squad players. So I'd probably go with Roddy from Schalke. I believe the fact that he could possibly do the Onene sort of role thing in midfield when we need him, and he can play at right back. That could be of use to Unai Emery within the squad. But yeah, that's who I would go for off the top of my head, my guy. In regards to a winger, that's an interesting one. I've already said Brandt. I would love to go for Calvin Steggs as well, of AZ Alkmaar. But I think I've answered everybody's questions. Like I said, there's a lot of questions to go through, people, and without you, I can't ask this Q&A. So like I said, thank you very much for these questions. No question is stupid, no question is complex. It doesn't matter what question. Just please get in the comments with some more questions. Hopefully we can have another mad turnout like it's been now. Hopefully I've answered your questions to the best of my knowledge, or the best of my respect for you guys, if that even makes sense. Apologies if I've missed anyone else out. I mean, look at the sheer amount of questions, people. I doubt I've missed anyone, but yeah, people, Deluded, thank you for watching. I'm out.